Hey there, you're watching The Fact Flash. I'm Krishna Patel and welcome to tonight's headliner. While the parliament was screaming over Operation Sindoor, another operation was being conducted on the ground. Quiet, surgical, and a game-changing one. It was called Operation Mahadev on July 28, 2025. While our leaders debated political moves, Indian security forces executed one of the most significant anti-terror operations in recent years, hunting down and eliminating the 3 terrorists responsible for the 22nd April Pahalgam massacre that left 26 innocent civilians, mostly tourists, dead. The operation was carried out in the dense forests of Harvan near Srinagar, and the execution was so precise that within just a span of 3 hours, all 3 terrorists were neutralized. At the center of this operation was Suleman, also known as Faisal or Hashim Musa, a former Pakistani SSG commando turned Lashkar-e-Taiba, a category terrorist who was the mastermind behind the Pahalgam killings. Alongside him were 2 other Pakistani terrorists, Afghan and Jibril, both senior elite operators. Now, these men had been hiding for over 3 months since the Baisaran Valley attack, and the Indian Army, Rashtriya Rifles, CRPF, J&K police had been closing in on them ever since. The breakthrough came when Indian intelligence intercepted signals from an encrypted satellite device known as a Chinese ultraset, which had been turned on briefly around 2 a.m. on July 28. The satellite communication device, which is also used by Pakistan's military, revealed the terrorists' location deep in the Dachigam forest. Surveillance drones were immediately deployed and confirmed the visuals by 9:30 a.m. The Para-Special Forces and Rashtriya Rifles had surrounded the area. At exactly 10 a.m., visual contact was established, and by 11 a.m., the operation commenced. All 3 terrorists were gunned down in a fierce encounter that lasted less than an hour. One of the terrorists attempted to flee despite being injured, but was eventually neutralized. Their bodies were recovered by noon, and the operation moved into its sweep phase to ensure that no further threats were present. What was found on them told the rest of the story. Weapons included an M4 commando carbine, 2 AK-47 variants, 1 Romanian Model 90 and 1 AKM hybrid, along with 17 rifle grenades, multiple magazines, Pakistani voter IDs, and even chocolates. These weapons were immediately sent to forensic labs in Chandigarh and were confirmed to be the same ones used in Pahalgam massacre. In fact, the shells recovered from the April attack site matched 100% with the bullets fired from these recovered weapons, eliminating any remaining doubt about their identities. The confirmation was so airtight that Union Home Minister Amit Shah himself announced the details in Lok Sabha amid the chaos of Operation Sindoor debate. He stated clearly that 3 killed in Operation Mahadev were the same individuals responsible for the Pahalgam bloodbaths, and that their deaths were not just operational wins. They were moral victories for every Indian. But this wasn't a spontaneous encounter. This was the result of relentless groundwork. More than 1,000 individuals had been interviewed over in last 2 months. Poniwalas, local shopkeepers, eyewitnesses were questioned. The National Investigation Agency and Jammu and Kashmir police teams followed digital trials, checked local movements, mapped forest routes, and monitored all encrypted signals in the region. 2 local Kashmiris identified as Parvez and Bashir were detained earlier for sheltering the terrorists and were also crucial in verifying the bodies post-operation. This wasn't an army operation. It was an interagency intelligence-led hunt. And the timing, let's talk about that. Just as the nation's elected representatives were fighting over Operation Sindoor, a surgical strike that was itself reaction to the Pahalgam killings, Operation Mahadev was carried out without noise, without leaks, and with 100% success. It tells you everything about what real accountability looks like. While some in Parliament asked for resignations and debated press release, boots on the ground gave this result. Now let's talk about Suleman, aka Hashim Musa, the man with at least 20 lakh rupees bounty on his head. Once a part of Pakistan's elite SSG unit, trained at LET's headquarters and reportedly handpicked by ISI handlers. This man crossed the LOC in 2022 with mission of reviving foreign-backed terrorism in Kashmir Valley. The Pahalgam massacre was supposed to be his message. He and his men fired on unarmed civilians, pilgrims and tourists in broad daylight, killing 26 people, including 3 women, 2 children. They escaped into the hills while India mourned and Pakistan denied everything. But 2 months later, there's no room left for denial. Suleman's Pakistani voter ID card was found on him. His Chinese encrypted phone was found. His bullets were matched. His body was identified. The trial ends here. And let's not forget the families of the victims, people who lost their husbands, fathers in this attack, or people who lost their brothers. For them, this news of Operation Mahadev isn't just about security or intelligence. It's about closure. It's about justice. And for many of them, it's also about sending a message to the world that Indian lives are not cheap. They matter. And those who dare to take them will be hunted, cornered and erased, no matter where they hide and from who they hide. This is what makes Operation Mahadev stand out. Not just because of who was killed, but because of how it was done. High-level tech, patient tracking, interagency coordination, forensic science, and above all, absolutely zero political drama. It wasn't leaked to the media. It wasn't live tweeted by politicians. It just happened silently, lethally, and successfully. So while some politicians keep shouting in the well of the house, the real action is still happening in the forests, in the shadows, where real patriots, our forces, continue to do their jobs. If Parliament needs a lesson in discipline, maybe they should take a leaf out of Operation Mahadev's playbook. With this and a lot more, make sure that you stay tuned to the Fact Flash.